and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of GRAFFTV. Tonight, we have another legend in studio. He's a pioneer in the business of graffiti and a member of two of the most influential crews in Los Angeles history. A career that spans over 30 years. He's a writer, a muralist, a businessman, and a mentor to the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to welcome, it's the one and only Man One C.O.I. Yeah, man, welcome to the show. It's great to have you in studio.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Thank you for accepting our invitation, man.
Absolutely.
Now, I'd like to start from the very top. Recently, you had a show with PRIME K2S.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that show?
Yeah, so actually what it was a art talk, a panel, talking about the history of LA and how it mixes in with the architecture and urban design and stuff like that. Really, it was Prime's show. Prime had a show at Helm's Bakery. They have a space there. And so, you know, Prime did his whole thing and like hooked up all the walls with his you know, his tags and all that. Roll calls and everything all over the walls. So I was just a member of the panel on the closing of the show. So unfortunately, it wasn't a two-man show, let's say. But yeah, Prime's an OG, and you know I've respected and known him for many years. And you know, it was an honor to be next to him and talk to the people about Graph and LA and all that. You know.
Can you please educate me on Prime's contribution to graffiti?
Oh man. His contribution to graffiti as well, to me, you know, when I think of Prime, I think of K2S, I think of STN, all the East Side writers that I grew up, you know, admiring. And Prime was definitely one of the first guys that I looked up to in terms of just raw style, you know, that letter form that you didn't know where it came from. Like, it wasn't East Coast graffiti, but it wasn't just straight up, you know, gang style. It was somewhere in between. And so Prime definitely, you know, put his mark in LA, and you know, his hand styles, of course, are legendary. So, you know, big ups to Prime, you know.
Thank you. Now, I want to get to your story. First of all, where were you born?
I was born at the Doctor's Hospital in East LA on Whittier Boulevard.
Where are your parents from?
My parents are both Mexican, from Durango and Chihuahua, and I was, you know, first generation born here, oldest of three, you know.
What kind of people were your parents like? Were they religious, strict, easygoing? Can you describe them for us?
Yeah, I think my parents, you know, thankfully they're still with us, but, you know, they were always like, you know, very traditional Mexican family, you know, like very hardworking, goal-oriented, you know, wanted us to go to school and better ourselves. You know, Catholic. We grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic school my whole life, believe it or not, from first grade to my last years in the university. Not that I'm Catholic anymore or whatever, but that's how the family grew up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was a tight family. My tios and my tias and my abuelita. We all grew up kind of this extended family. You know what I'm saying? So it was very much a warm, kind of loving, like you know, upbringing. I mean, it was in my book, it was perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Did your parents or grandparents display any kind of artistic ability growing up?
No, you know, I'm the first, I think, of in the whole family. I think I'm the first visual artist. I have a lot of uncles who were musicians, and so there was always music in the house and music in the family and stuff like that. But as far as art, I just picked it up. I don't know where. You know, I just started drawing since I was a little kid. Just picked it up. Maybe thinking back about it, maybe it was because Spanish was my first language. So I didn't speak English until I was like in, you know, first, second grade when I started learning, you know, English. So I think art was my first language because that's how I communicate with the kids. And in kindergarten and all that, I would draw stuff and show them, and that's how I communicated. So yeah, somehow, I don't know how, but I became an artist, and I was the first one in the family.